Well, good afternoon, Andersen Elementary fourth graders. How are you today? I bet you are so excited because we have the joy of a very special musical performance from our amazing fifth graders behind us here. I want to begin by telling you something really important. There's a reason that we have our fourth graders here. Next year, you get the chance to be a part of band or orchestra, and you are going to get the chance to see how amazing these musicians are and all that they've been learning. So I want to give a giant shout out to their teachers. Mr. Kent Musser is our orchestra teacher, and Mr. Joel Bryan is our band teacher. These two teachers work so hard every day to bring the joy of music to our students, and I'm so grateful for the work that they are doing and so excited to celebrate with all of these musicians today. So with that, we will take it away. I believe Mr. Musser is.
All right, welcome fourth graders. Welcome anyone else as well who's viewing us either from a classroom or from home or from your office. Our virtual audience, we welcome you as well. So my name is Mr. Musser, and I teach orchestra here at Andersen. And the orchestra will start the performance, and we'll play through several songs, and then you'll get a chance to hear the band perform. And Mr. Bryan is their teacher. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Our first song is called D Dorian Scale. Thanks, you guys. So you're going to hear us play most of our songs by plucking the string, and that's called pizzicato. Now, when you think of these string instruments, you probably think that it's played with the bow, and it is. But when we first start teaching these instruments, we teach the students how to pluck the strings first, and then we bring the bow in just a little bit later. You will hear the students play with the bow, but we're going to continue playing pizzicato for right now. Our next song is sort of a combination of hot cross buns and then sort of a different version of hot cross buns with a slight different note. I'm sure you guys have all heard hot cross buns before. So we call this song Hot Burned Buns. When we played in the middle that we tried to play softly? Yeah, so that's one of the things that makes playing an instrument fun, is that you can play all different kinds of notes and different styles, different speeds, but you can also play different volumes, sometimes loud, sometimes soft. All right, I'm sure you guys all know our next song. This is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. All right, and our next song is Mary Had a Little Lamb. All right, and then another favorite of ours is Old MacDonald. And by the way, you're going to hear some of the same songs played by the band that the orchestra will play, because a lot of these songs, every instrument plays these early songs. So this is Old MacDonald. All right, so now we're going to play our one song with the bow. So right now our students are kind of setting up how to hold the bow, because there's nothing else in the world that is held like a bow. So it's a very specific way you have to hold the bow, and then moving the bow across the strings. And we just kind of started using the bow. So, all right, so the song we're going to play is called D Dorian Scale. You've already heard us play it once. You heard us play it pizzicato, but now we're going to play it with the bow. All right, you guys, I want to really quickly just introduce the instruments that you see in the orchestra. You guys actually up here see three different instruments. You see violins. Violins, hold your instruments up nice and high. We have three violinists in our orchestra. And then violas, raise your instruments up nice and high. We have 7 viola players. Violas look a lot like violins, but they're just a little bit bigger and therefore get a deeper sound. And then over on your right, you see we have 2 cello players. The cello's too big to fit under your chin, so it has to be held a different way. One more instrument that is in the orchestra is the string bass. Unfortunately, right now at Andersen, we don't have any string bass players, but the string bass is even bigger than the cello, and you stand up and play it. I bet you guys can picture that in your mind. Nope, these are cellos. That's a cello back there. So, all right, our next song is Good King Wenceslas. All right. So we're ready for our grand finale for the orchestra. We're going to play Jingle Bells. And we're borrowing a student from the band. His name is Clay, and he's going to play the sleigh bells with us on Jingle Bells. By the way, you guys have been an awesome audience. We thank you so much. Teachers, we thank you as well for letting us disrupt your day. And a big thank you to the parents, hopefully watching us at home, supporting your children. All right, so here's our final song for orchestra, Jingle Bells. Thanks again, everyone.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you to those of you who are here online. It's great to see you. All right, nicely done, orchestra. Great work over there. I'd like to introduce to you the Andersen 5th grade band. We're going to start out with our 5-note scale and then show you some of the patterns that we usually do as warm-ups, and then we'll get into some songs after that, all right? So please enjoy the 5-note scale. This next one you'll hear is called skips, and we call it skips because we're taking those same 5 notes and we're skipping around the 5 notes. We call this one the expanding scale because as the notes go up, we keep going back to our lower notes so the notes get farther apart. This next one we call 3 steps. This pattern we call encirclement because we're gonna start below a note, go above the note, and then land on it. So we end up making a circle around the third note of each measure. We have one more pattern that we play for a warm-up. We call these arpeggios. We have 4 songs for you. The first one you'll recognize from earlier in the concert, but then also I think you'll recognize it from other places too. This one's called Hot Cross Buns. Before we do our next song, I want you guys to meet the instruments that we've got in the band. Now, there are a few instruments that we do not have in the Andersen band, but I want you to know which instruments you're looking at right now. Flutes, can you hold your flutes up nice and high? So those are the flutes, and it's the one instrument that kind of goes out to the side. And then, Georgie, can you hold up your clarinet? That's the clarinet, all right? In the back, we have the trumpet. Go ahead and hold the trumpets up nice and high. And then we also have the baritone, which is the big tuba-looking thing. Tuba is actually a little bigger than that, all right? But that's the baritone. That's the low instrument that you're hearing. In the very back, then, we have our percussionists, and right now they're playing the marimba, all right? They also play other instruments like the xylophone and the bells and the drums and the tambourines, all right? So they get a lot of different instruments that they get to learn. Our next song for you is, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Now, as I mentioned, there's a few instruments that we don't have in our band, but you'll get the choices to play next year, 4th graders. So make sure if you have any questions for me about instruments like the trombone or the French horn or the saxophone, all right, make sure you let me know when we're talking about that. We'll wait until after the concert on that one, okay? All right. Our next song is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. before we play our last song for you, there's a few things I need to say. All right, one is I want to take a second and thank all the parents out there who are listening. All right, it takes a lot of steps, a lot of effort to be able to do what these young people are doing, and without the parents, that would not be possible. So thank you so much, parents, for your support. I also want to take a second and thank the Andersen parent group, because they were kind enough to provide us with the funds to bring in Valley Access so we could have this concert broadcast. So thank you so much for your support, Andersen Parent Group. It's nice, it's tough that we weren't able to have the parents come in and watch the show, but this is a pretty great second option, and now we can send the links out to grandparents and aunts and uncles all over the country or the world. So that's a very nice thing. All right. We have a few students in the band that could not be here today. So we wanted to send a shout out and a hello to Nolan, Gray, Caden, Ryan, and Mercy. Dan, can we say hi? Hi. Excellent. For our last song for you guys is Jingle Bells. We were fortunate enough to have a few students step up and learn an extra part of Jingle Bells. So you're gonna hear some of our flutes, and you're gonna hear Clay playing the part that goes dashing through the snow. And then the whole band will come in with the Jingle Bells part. If you feel so moved, feel free to sing along. You guys have been an awesome audience. Thank you so much for listening quietly. All right, we really enjoy having you here. Enjoy Jingle Bells. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Have a happy holidays and enjoy your break.